Hey, Lauren, aka Moses here. Coming at you again for a little brief talk about something that I've kind of thought about a little bit here recently. Been on my mind. I don't know how many of you are online marketers or doing videos, or maybe you're a blogger. Uh, Maybe you're a housewife just interested in things. Somebody exploring the Facebook came across this video, wondered what it was all about. Well, let me tell you, I kind of cover different subjects, just things that I think about as life goes by daily, and plus the fact that online marketing, there's an awful lot of people who are wanting to become entrepreneurs, want to be their own boss. Yeah, I think we all want to do that. We're always smarter than the guy we work for. However, when you work for the other guy for pay, you're building his dreams, not yours. So you have to kind of wonder who's really the smartest here. But the guy that owns the business is working real hard, believe it or not. So, experience tells me that. But one of the things that actually I got to thinking about, because I just have been to and been on several Zoom meetings here recently, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Zoom hard technology and the Zoom meetings and what they are, but basically they're video meetings where there's a moderator or somebody who's in charge of the meeting, and then there are numerous people that are invited. It might be a group, might be a company, who knows? It could just be a group of friends. That's a good way to get together. It's kind of like FaceTiming, except that you do it in a Zoom meeting, and people can actually control their own cameras and they can control their own microphones. Now, because of that, there's a little bit of a challenge when it comes to doing a Zoom meeting and you're doing it for business. So, when you're doing it for business, it doesn't have to be super formal. In fact, most of us anymore, even in the business world, an awful lot of the current business dress is what I used to call casual, or what I would wear on the weekend, not what I would wear to work. However, things change. Who knew, right? Anyway, getting back to the Zoom meeting, one of the things that you find out when you do a Zoom meeting and you get a bunch of different people on. I've been on Zoom meetings that had 300 or 400 people on the meeting. Most of them, they're limited to 100 people. Depends on how big of a program you're allowed to have. But anyway, and that's, you can buy unlimited time and unlimited size audiences, etc. But that takes money. However, getting back to what I wanted to talk about, when you get a whole bunch of people on a Zoom meeting with video cameras that are videoing, either if they're attending the meeting on their iPhone or on their laptop or on their desk computer, however they're attending that meeting, all of those devices have a camera on them and a microphone, and of course speakers. So if a person is attending and they're, let's say, using a phone, a smartphone, iPhone, whatever, and they're watching and they're holding that and they're watching, and of course it's just like on this camera, it's looking at me, but it can see everything behind me. Now, if I have a camera and I'm using the phone as my camera and I start walking around, people are going to be able to see everything that goes on behind me. Now, if I set the camera down somewhere and I walk away from it, and then then people that are on that Zoom meeting can see everything that phone or camera is picking up. And I'll tell you, Sometimes it can be kind of humorous. Sometimes it can be kind of embarrassing. Had one Zoom meeting where somebody wasn't particularly being careful about the fact that they weren't dressed and they were walking around uh, in the room, and of course the camera was picking them up. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, another one, the guy was actually sitting on the toilet watching the meeting. Now, that's hard for me to believe that anybody would actually do that. But I've seen people watching the meeting, attending the meeting, and they're laying in bed, or they're laying on the couch, or they're sitting there and they're talking to people behind them and in the room with them, and the mic isn't shut off so you can hear the conversations, or there's all kinds of background noise. So all I'm saying is, if you've ever attended a meeting, a Zoom meeting, or if you're ever invited to attend a Zoom meeting, do yourself a huge, huge favor. Mute your mic. And if you're not going to sit there and tentatively watch what's going on and attending the meeting, then switch your video camera off. It'll show that you're still attending the meeting, but people aren't going to be able to see what you're doing. And honestly, there's been numerous cases where you really don't want to see what people are doing when they're at those meetings, because it's kind of sad, But anyway, all I'm suggesting and all I'm asking is that don't unmute your mic. Raise your hand if you want to talk. You have a question and you want to ask the question, and it's a question and answer time. Raise your hand. Turn on your video camera. Raise your hand. The moderator will see you, call you out, then you can switch on your mic and you can talk. Okay? Don't switch on your mic otherwise. There's no reason to have it on. The other thing is, don't hit the share button, because the share button it shares your screen, full screen, for everybody that is watching the meeting. So it would be just like if this were a Zoom meeting, I was talking and there were other people watching. Somebody hits the share button, they would cut me out and they would be on the camera. And I can't tell you how many times people have been on the camera and they just been staring, kind of looking, and because they don't realize they're the one that's on the camera, on everybody else's camera. These are just little things, but it's what is the difference between being aware, and that's really what a lot of things are about, just being aware of what's going on with you and around you, but a lot about what you're doing. Like I said, if you don't need to turn the mic on, don't turn the mic on and start talking, or turn the mic on and then sit there and talk to somebody in the background, or have the TV going, or have kids running around yelling, or you know what I mean. It's distracting for everybody else that's trying to attend the meeting and get some value out of it. The other thing, again, you can turn your camera on, and as long as you're watching and paying attention and being present in the meeting, it's all good. If you're not present in the meeting, you've got other things on your mind, you're doing other things, shut the camera off. People are, they want to focus on the meeting. They won't want to see you doing whatever you're doing, or I'm sure, don't want to see what some other people are doing, when they don't realize the camera's on and they're on stage. Anyhow, just kind of a little thing that I would like to share with people, especially if you're going to be an online marketer or being online and happen to be invited to a Zoom meeting or attend a Zoom meeting. Try to keep in mind, how would you act if you were in a conference room with people, you wouldn't be doing things like some of these people are doing on Zoom meetings. Anyhow, thanks for your time. I'd love to hear your comments if you've I'd love to know if you've attended a meeting and what you've seen and what your comments are and what your thoughts are about a Zoom meeting and how it should be handled. Anyway, thanks for your time. Thanks for stopping by. Again, Lauren, aka Moses, appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you in the future.